If you're a conscious leader and you want to start your podcast and you have no idea how long it's going to take you, or maybe you've started already and you end up spending 15, 20 hours on editing, this video is for you because I'll give you a good idea of how long it takes to have your own podcast and also how you can optimize your processes to spend less time and have a high quality podcast in 4 hours. So that's why I call it the 4-hour podcast week. The intention here is every week you spend 4 hours of your time to post a high quality podcast episode. So when I say high quality, it can be solo or with guests, but when you have guests, they're quality guests, you do quality content, you have a beautiful production that you're proud of, and you promote your episodes, you do clips, you promote. So all of this can be done in 4 hours a week. Only now, thanks to AI, the right tools and the right processes. Guys, I've had a podcast for 6.5 years, and 2 years ago, to do the same, I needed to hire a VA for about 20 hours a week. That would do the subtitles, that would do the clips, that would do all of the editing. So this is absolutely amazing, and I've had conversation with so many people, and sometimes when they haven't started a podcast, they think, oh, I'm going to put 1 hour a week. I think for having something high quality, that's not realistic. If you just want to have a few conversations to warm up, that's fine. But for high quality podcasts, 4 hours is the sweet spot per week. Now, if you want to do less than one podcast per week, that's fine. But there is a sweet spot. There is a momentum when you do weekly. And now, I also spoke with people who spend 15, 20 hours editing each episode, and that's usually not working unless that's your passion. So to get into it now, I want to break down those 4 hours, what they look like. 1 hour will be for contacting guests, booking them, and researching the guest. That's if you have a guest. If it's a solo episode, that can be just the preparation of your episode. You can streamline this by contacting people you already know and like, so you don't have too much research to do. Also, having a Calendly so they can book in, having a pre-interview form so they'll already upload the picture, talk about the themes they'd like to talk about. Then the next hour is going to be the recording. I put an hour there because even if I recommend doing more 30, 35 minutes episodes initially, maybe even less if it's solo episodes, but with a guest, you want to spend also 15 minutes at the beginning to have a bit of buffer, small talk, connect with them, and also align on the episode you're going to create together. And then another 15 minutes at the end, 10 or 15 minutes to have a debrief to see if you can cross-promote the episode. Maybe can they share on their Instagram? Do they have a newsletter they can share it on? And also connect deeper with them. Then the editing phase, only 1 hour, guys. If you do simple things like having a podcast that's already pretty good, so you don't need to go through everything, every word, change. You just make a note during the podcast if there's really something you need to cut. But in general, it's a conversation, so you don't want to cut too much, every silence, every filler word. I don't think it works for podcasting. People want to hear a genuine human conversation. So the editing, usually I just like to create a 30-second teaser, put my logo at the beginning, and at the end, maybe edit in and out the main things, but you don't need to overdo it. And with AI, with Riverside especially, which is the software I'm using, you can remove background noise, you can edit like it's a Word document because they create a transcript, so you don't need to have any skills in video editing. That's really important. That's why you can do that in 1 hour. That's what I'm doing now with the Light Leaders podcast. And publish and promote 1 hour. So this is, you publish on YouTube, Spotify, all podcasting platforms, and promote. You create clips, you post them on Instagram, let's say. That's what I'm doing. Maybe it's Facebook for you. And all of this, 4 hours a week. Now, that's 4 hours a week when you know what you're doing, when you have experience with it, when you have a good flow with it. So I like to do every week because it keeps a good flow, but you also need the skills. You need to learn. It's like anything, if you're gonna make, let's say I like to make the heavy metal detox smoothie in the morning, which is a smoothie with maybe 10 different ingredients. It takes me 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, because I have all the ingredients. I know how to do it. Spirulina here, the dulse is here, the blueberries are here. But if you were to learn to do it, get all the ingredients, get the measurements right, that would take you much more time to learn, right? Like any recipe that you would cook takes more time to learn than then to do it every day. So here's the same. If you want to have a high quality podcast and you're starting, it's going to be challenging to do it from the beginning with 4 hours a week. So there's kind of 3 ways you can go about it. The first way is you can sacrifice some of the quality there. And that's totally fine. Maybe if you're starting, you can sacrifice the quality of your guests. So if you interview your best friend, it's going to be much easier than if you want to interview Tony Robbins, right? Like, well, he's probably going to say no, but even if you were to say yes, it would take you hours. So here, you can sacrifice the quality of the guest. The content, if you don't prepare, you just like take your phone and record with your bro. It's like easy. And then production, you can just post a Zoom call. And promotion, you can do no promotion. So, you could just record with your bro 30 minutes, post on YouTube, and that's it. So that would be much quicker even, but obviously you sacrifice the quality. But you could also sacrifice only part of it. So you could take 4 hours a week and be like, I'm going to speak with my bro, and I'm not going to do any production, but I'm going to make sure it looks good and that we talk about good things. That could work in 4 hours. Now, you could also spend 20 plus hours a week trying to make it super nice and editing every little part and trying to learn everything yourself and go on YouTube, checking so many tutorials on this and on that. And I see a lot of people actually give up their podcast. When you do A and B, you can give up easily A because it's not quality, you're not proud of it, so you don't keep going. And B is like, it just takes too much of your time. It's not fun. You wanted to have fun and do something you love, and now you've become a video editor. It's not your passion and your genius. And now option C is what I do with my clients. So I work one-on-one or group coaching, and it's having a training of 8 weeks with 8 hours a week. So during those 8 hours a week, you record your first episode, 8 episodes. So that's 4 hours a week, but then an extra 4 hours a week to do the brand positioning. It's also to learn to use the right tools. It's to practice them and receive the coaching. So that's kind of the 3 ways you can go about it. And I'm offering free strategy sessions. So if you want to really jumpstart your start and have a chat with someone who has 6.5 years of experience, over 200 episodes in studios, with solo episodes or more than 3 people with my podcast, The Light Leaders. I spend an hour with you. There's no pushy energy. I just help you because you're a conscious leader, and that's my mission. Check the link in the description. There's a link to book a call with me, and I'd love to speak to you. Now, even if you don't do that, check the channel. I put a lot of content on the channel to help you start your podcast and YouTube channel if you're a conscious leader. And once you get good at it, really 4 hours a week, it's all you need, guys. And that's exciting because that means you don't need to become a full-time podcaster to have a quality podcast, which was often the case just a few years ago. Now you can be just, if you're a coach and you do your coaching thing and you want to have a podcast on the side, like you post on Instagram, having a podcast has become much easier. And I'm talking a high quality video podcast with high quality guest content production and promotion. Much love, and I hope that was helpful. As usual, leave in the comments what is your main takeaway from this. Do you have any follow-up questions? I read them all and I answer them all. Much love.